Hello there. Are you here in response to the bulletin about my factotum research? Fantastic. Now let me fill you in on the details. I found this factotum head in a junk pile, which isn't too uncommon for the Brass Fortress. I was intrigued, however, by its strange coloring. I was even more intrigued when it began to speak to me. It gave a repeated message, requesting to find its integral of memory in the mnemonic planisphere. That's where you come in. I need an adventuring sort to journey to the planisphere in order to find this component. Are you still interested? The journey to the mnemonic planisphere is riddled with dangers, so it's best to prepare. Shouldn't be any issues once you head inside, though. My research leads me to believe the integral of memory will resemble a crystal. Would you believe that the Apostles don't know how to create factotums? That was a rhetorical question. The sad truth is that while we Apostles can create metal limbs and motors, we cannot replicate the intelligence Sotha Sil gave the factotums. We're also unable to enter the factories where they're created. Why does Lord Set do anything? He's the father of mysteries, after all. Through his silence, curiosity is born. Perhaps he meant for us Apostles to figure this one out on our own. And I believe I've finally found a breakthrough with this factotum. Firstly, I already know it is an older, simpler model. You can see the dwarven influences in the skull, an aesthetic blight by today's standards. We Apostles see dwarves as a race to scorn, not emulate. This model must predate that thinking. Secondly, unlike other factotums, it openly speaks of its components. Trust me, I've interrogated many of these machines in the name of my research. Perhaps as we reconstruct its mind, it will tell us details about its creation. And thirdly, well, its voice. Factotums are genderless machines, of course, but they all sound distinctly female. This one is the first I've met to have a male voice. I'm not sure what it means, but I am sure I'll find answers as I further my research.
Protocols on stand. Conducting piston check. Awareness rating stabilized. Combat system recalibrating. By sense clear, I am bound to maintaining detection status 5. Structural integrity diagnostics in progress.
All right, you pile of bolts. Let's run through it one more time.
What am I running through?
Inventory, of course.
Understood. I will run through the...
It's all gonna update me now.
Quality and variety. Come see for yourself.
Some kind of tubular housing. Probably meant to protect a glass interior? Difficult to say.
Quiet! They can hear us! Come, do it!
A complex filament of some kind. The weaving on this fiber, it must be machine-made. I should be taking notes. Some kind of compressor. For funneling a gas, perhaps? Interesting. Look at the apertures on this. It must be some kind of modulator that changes the nature of the light. Fascinating.
Core rotation complete. Resuming standard awareness.
Compressors, filaments, housings, modulators. Yes! I think I understand what these discarded lights have in common. Unlike the other lamps, these compress some kind of geodic gas into metal tubes, then modulate the light to create another kind of illumination that mortal eyes cannot see. Invisible light! Remarkable! The potential applications are limitless. Yes, with Rayna's assistance, I believe we can recreate this lamp without much difficulty. Of course, you'll need to procure the requisite parts. These are all broken beyond repair. What do you plan to do with this light, exactly? You plan to do what? Oh dear. Well, this seems like a terrible idea, but I shall rely upon you and Lord Fear to protect me. Here's a list of the components I'll need. Once you've acquired them, meet me in the Hall of Refined Techniques. Good luck.
Yes?
Don't give up on me yet, Kara. I think I'm getting close.
It's not.
This stew tastes like it was steeped in rusty nuts. Maybe we should just stick to eating the paste. It's not so bad eating the same soft, bland mush every meal forever.
Come in search of a hot meal? Hard to come by here, I know, but mark my words, one day there'll be more than just the aroma of bubbling brass wafting out of Slagtown. People are going to come from far and wide to try what's making it. Or a mud mixer. Might as well be the same thing most days. Getting ingredients that pass for edible is a challenge in Slagtown. Solus Romathron's got real mushrooms he's been dangling in front of me, but he won't sell to the likes of us. Really? Well, if you got me some fresh ones from the halls of regulation, that'd be a start. But they aren't much good like that. Solus has some trick to making them edible he keeps closely guarded. Maybe you could... Mind yourself around Solus. He's a mean one with friends in high places. Helps him keep his monopoly on the mushroom trade. He won't take kindly to anyone poking around. Oh, he's the type to keep records on anything he considers worth remembering, especially if it can make him a profit. I'm sure he's got his notes tucked away in his office, maybe even under lock and key. Be best not to mention us then. It wouldn't help your case being associated with Slagtowners. I'd hate to see you get in trouble on our account, but we're just scraping by, you understand? Oh, I reckon anything that can grow here is special, but from what I gather, they got real flavor. Might even be strong enough to take the edge off fabricant meat. I've tried, but no amount of boiling, chopping, or mashing did the trick. Those mushrooms are tougher than shoe leather and full of spores any way you dice them. Besides, they're hard enough to come by without me wasting them on trial and error. Can't really say that any of the Tinkerer's creations were designed with edibility in mind, but there's only so much of that mushy food paste a person can eat in one lifetime. I was raised on the stuff and I can barely stand it. Doesn't make me much of a wood elf, does it? All my parents used to talk about over dinner was the wild game from home. Everyone from outside gets the same look in their eye when talking about their favorite meal. It's why I took up cooking. Don't I know it? But if I can make the days a little easier for even one person, it'll be worth it. And if I only wind up making something so bad the paste is good by comparison, well, that's a victory in a way, right?
Chime the bell.
Alchemist looking for some gold?
Combatants needed for a perilous task. Please respond for more information.
I worry for Khalid. He seems so despondent since Malia's death.
I can't believe she even went on the pilgrimage. Thought she had more sense than that. Pilgrimage? To where? The less you know about the prognosticator, the better. Trust me on that.
If you're looking to barter, you're out of luck. I traded most of my salvage to Najargo for firepot oil. Turns out it's not firepot oil at all. He just skimmed residue off one of the water tanks and dyed it with boot polish. He swindled me. Funny you should ask. I lost a compressor to Najargo in that slaggy trade. You could try to get it from him. Or better yet, just beat it out of him. If that doesn't suit, you could pull one out of a verminous fabricant. They're all over the radius.
Quality and variety. Come see for yourself.
Now there's the look of someone on the hunt for something specific. You've come to the right place, friend. I've got a bit of everything. What can I get you? As a matter of fact, I acquired some of those just a few days ago. Apparently, someone's tossing out the old lighting to make way for the new. They're not easy to come by anymore, though. What's your offer? Varuni Arvel? Well, that changes everything. Any friend of Varuni's is a friend of mine. Why don't you take this tube on the house? Just let Varuni know how helpful I was, all right? And that I'm pretty good looking.
Hostile accessible parameters. Routine diagnostics complete. Resuming threat awareness. Assessing structural integrity. Reflecting. Increasing visual clarity by 15%.
Care to borrow?
Transitioning to detection state 12. Stand by. Sensor initialized 62%. I have many functions to help you with your purchases. My functions permit me to assist all customers. All prices have been calculated with current market trends.
You've returned. Excellent. Raynor and I have cobbled together a serviceable frame for the lamp. All we need now are the components I sent you to acquire. Were you successful? Wonderful! I'm confident this lamp will conform to the exact specifications of the lamps they removed, provided Raynor didn't make any miscalculations. So, would this be the time to inform Darth Fear of our success? Or mine, specifically? Excellent, excellent! No need to return here, of course. Kirith should be back straight away, and I'll have her run the completed lamp over to the locutorium as soon as it's ready. See you soon, Assistant!
I have many functions to help you with your purchases. Pleased to meet you. Entity name not found.
I was beginning to worry. Not about you, of course. These apostles have been circling me like cliff racers. Looking for an autograph, no doubt. So tiresome. I take it you were successful in learning about these lights and constructing a new one? Well done. I assume you discovered the special property of these lamps. Why does my dear friend Seal go to such lengths to avoid them? Invisible light. Fascinating. To help with factotum navigation, perhaps? Huh. No matter. Further inquiry must wait. Now is the time for action. I will request a congressional assembly. Plant your lamp on the balcony above, then return to me.
Did you say something about putting the lamp on the balcony? We might have a problem. Raynor and that annoying high elf finished your lamp, but there's a problem. On the way here, I overheard an aide complaining about some new security measures Sotha Seal put in place. Looks like the balcony is under heavy guard now. Looks that way, unless you want blood on your hands, of course. But that might complicate our sponsorship a smidge, yeah? Just be quick and quiet, like me. You'll be fine. Here's the lamp, good luck.
That's it. I'm sending for the guard.
I convinced Sotha Seal that the Congress requires yet another lecture on the sanctity of clockwork automata. He eagerly agreed. Seemed almost giddy about it. It was unsettling. Is all in readiness? Good. Seal's lecture should begin any moment now. Stand ready to activate the lamp. I'm reasonably certain that something will happen, but the specifics elude me. I guess they...
It's not easy to make.
Let's get down to business, shall we?
Plenty of money to be made, if you know where to look, and not... Alanor.
Challenge me to a duel. How droll. But then how can we have a proper contest? You don't even know the Ultima code of dueling, do you? Learn the rules and challenge me properly. Then I'll teach you some manners.
That gutless high elf Lyrindel thinks he can call me a pig-faced brute and walk away. I'm gonna knock that loose tongue right out of the back of his head. Just watch me. By Moloch, these Alanor pigs really twist my tusks. Because I'm not an idiot. Guards see an orc thumping the ears off an elf in the middle of the street. You know how that turns out. Thought if I challenged him to a duel, we could make it legal. But he won't fight unless I challenge him properly. How in oblivion would I know? These elves have rules for everything. How to eat, how to sleep. Of course they've got rules about how to beat each other up. Say, you wouldn't be interested in helping me figure this out? I appreciate the help. Trust me, this is a noble cause. First things first, you'll need to track Lyrindel down and find out how to get this nonsense started. I'd ask him myself, but the urge to punch him might be too much for me. Ah, you know how it is. Orc in a town full of stuck-up Altmer. Same old story. I was in the tavern, washing down a lamb shank with a bottle of wine, minding my own business. Then along comes this beanpole telling me I've got to leave. Why do you think? This island's full of orc haters. Only thing they hate worse than orcs walking the streets is orcs drinking their wine. Lyrindel told me I was stinking up the place, so I told him to yank the stick out of his arse and shove off. He laid into me with everything he had. Tongue-lashing me about my tusks, my clothes, my beard. And that's the one that really got my dander up. I put a lot of work into this beard. He ended the whole thing with pig face. Pig? Damn right! I've been on the receiving end of that one too many times. So now he's going to learn a lesson. Are you kidding me? I could clobber that arse-face blindfolded. I'm not one for boast, but since you asked, I'm a 5-time blood-brawling champion. In the Hrothgar League, mind you. Used to call me Rogazog the Face Demolisher. Yeah, because I, demolish faces. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? I always wanted a really sharp moniker, like the Hatchet or Fist of Malakath or something like that. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, that elf's in big trouble. I've been asking myself the same thing ever since I stepped off the boat. Thought maybe I'd have a look around, take in the sights. My Aunt Lazbesh used to tell me stories about this place, see? Tales about glass trees and crystal towers and magic ale. Yeah, it's supposed to put your arse over flagging with a single sip. No self-respecting orc would pass up a challenge like that. Unfortunately, I haven't found any magic drinks. Just fancy wine and prissy elves. I don't know why I listened to my aunt. When I was a pup, she got her head stuck in a bucket. Couldn't get it off for a night and a day. So, yeah, Smart Gold says she was making it up. Then again, I'm here on her advice, so who's a real idiot? Ah, you know how it is. Orc in a town full of stuck-up Altmer. Same old story. I was in the tavern, washing down a lamb shank with a bottle of wine, minding my own business. Then along comes this beanpole telling me I've got to leave. Why do you think? This island's full of orc haters. Only thing...
The Office of Divine Prosecution requires strong-minded assistance.
My dear friend of Eighth Fear informed me that some of your number
may be experimenting on my blessed factotums. I will remind you yet again. My beloved factotums serve as an extension of my divine...
After him! Someone seize that imposter!
I am the Clockwork God. You will kneel before me. Kneel!
I haven't the time to discuss this, Varuni. Wittingly or unwittingly, Lord Set no longer serves the people of Clockwork City. Now, if you will excuse me.
Gascoigne, where are you going? When news of this gets out, we need to issue a statement or at least gather the Congress for an emergency session.
I have urgent matters to attend to. Make whatever statement you like. I will return soon.
What is Gascoigne thinking?
Well, that was enlightening. To think I've been speaking to Sotha Sil's shadow all this time. It seems so lifelike. Far more advanced than my own, I'm sorry to say. Fascinating. It really is too bad we'll all be dead soon. Well, I don't mean to alarm you, but I will be frank. If an imposter sits upon the throne aligned and learns how to wield the power of this place, a cataclysm will follow. We may yet discover a way to avert this disaster, but the chances are slim. Stay with Varuni. With Sotha Sil exposed as an imposter, the Congress will fall into turmoil. In such chaos, dark truths always float to the surface. Pray they do so quickly. I have other inquiries to make. Stay vigilant. We will meet again soon.
My dear Lord Set, what happened to you? I can scarcely believe what we just witnessed. How could this happen? How could a shadow masquerade as Lord Set? The Father of Mysteries would never let such a thing happen. There must be another explanation. Fear, of course. Always the iconoclast. I'll bet he's snickering at us even now. It doesn't matter. I appreciate your diligence. This has been a profoundly upsetting ordeal, but we must move forward. We must find the real Lord Set. Yes, he was acting strangely, wasn't he? He always chafed under Lord Set's rule. Now he finally has a pretext to seize control, and he slinks away like a broken basilisk. Curious. Too curious. The real Lord Set will aid us eventually, I know it. In the meantime, we must do for ourselves. Thank you for everything you've done. It appears we'll have to do a lot more before this is through. Classic Gascoigne. fleeing to his chambers when things go poorly. I'm sure that news of Lord Set's condition has already made it to the streets. We have to move quickly to prevent a panic. Try to talk to Gascoigne. He clearly doesn't care what I have to say, but he might listen to an exodromal. You remain, you know, a novelty. No offense. We can't assemble the Congress without the Chancellor. Check his rectory in the west wing of the Basilica. He hides in there sometimes to nurse a bruised ego or write passive-aggressive memoranda. I'll try to settle the Apostle's nerves. Honestly, my nerves could use some settling. Don't let Gascoigne wriggle out of this. He has a duty and an obligation. As do I. What? Yes. Yes, I'll be fine. This makes no sense. I don't understand how a shadow could take Lord Set's place. Maybe this is some sort of test. But why test us? The Clockwork Apostles haven't strayed. We build and pray and experiment just as the holy texts dictate. Compromised? You make it sound as if Lord Set suffers some kind of defect, like a crimped duct or a stripped bolt or something. We're talking about a divine being. Gods can't be compromised. They exist without flaws. Right? Do you know what the sermons say? Complexity belies the truth. The world rests on simple principles. Set is the truth and the light. Understand the simple, and you understand the obscure.
Every machine, a purpose.
Where did you hide it, you worm?
The factotums reported a strange energy signature in Gascoigne's rectory. Did you find anything odd in there? Sounds like a nocturnal shrike. By the gears, how did that thing make it past our security coils? Is Gascoigne... not suspicious at all, is it? A sudden departure followed by a Daedra attack. You're right. I knew Gascoigne was a conceited sluggard, but consorting with Daedra? I pray it's not true. We need to discover what he has that the Daedra covet. Proctor Luciana might be able to. I hope you catch Gascoigne soon. We need to know what he knows immediately. Birds? Not that I'm aware of. He might be tinkering with some kind of avian automaton, but he rarely discusses that sort of thing with me. Why do you ask? Wait, feathers? From a live bird? Unprecedented. As far as I know, no living bird has ever set foot or wing in Clockwork City. And even if they did, they wouldn't last long. Not a lot of worms crawling around here. They do eat worms, right? Fascinating. I've always wanted to see one. Under better circumstances, of course. I'll notify our naturalists once we resolve this situation with Gascoigne. I'm afraid not. Gascoigne keeps his own counsel about what he does outside the Basilica. He spent a few days out in the Radius last month, but that's hardly unusual. Apostles conduct research outside the fortress all the time. Mathematics, mostly. Predictive theory, spherical values, virtuous enumeration, that sort of thing. He just published a dissertation on transdimensional calculation, making inferences on how numbers change during planar travel. Impressive work. The specificity of his calculations just boggles the mind. It's almost as if he had access to a planar rift. Oh no. I don't want to even consider it. Not until we have proof. Birds? Not that I'm aware of. I knew this wouldn't end well.
I'm not here to speculate on Lord Set's plans. I'm here to clear the square.
You don't know, do you? I knew it! This is a disaster!
If you want to panic, do so in your own homes, not in the public square. Now disperse, or be dispersed. Get them moving.
You heard the Proctor. Return to your homes.
If you're looking for Lord Set, I don't know where he is. I will find out, though. Count on it. Gascoigne, what has he done now? I can't keep up with the complaints. Good. Maybe a fabricant ate him. Our luck has to change at some point. So, he finally graduated from corrupt hobbyist to professional villain. I'm almost relieved. Now we can finally give him what he deserves. I assume you informed your sponsor, Provost Varuni? A citywide search? I can't spare enough apostles to search a broom closet. Reports are flooding in from the Radius. Stories about fanatics in black robes, pale-skinned Daedra, living shadows. We may have a full-scale invasion on our hands. I have one asset I can spare. I know an artificer, Dalamar. He takes some getting used to, but you won't find a better tinkerer. He can help you find Gascoigne, guaranteed. Go talk to him. He set up shop near the tenements. Slagtown. I knew that slag-addled piece of garbage Gascoigne would turn on us eventually. We should have dealt with this decades ago. I think we should destroy it, if only to convince the people it can be destroyed. I'm already getting reports from citizens convinced that their neighbor or their friend is actually a shadow. Another few weeks of this, it will not end well. I'm prepared to live with that. I made a vow to protect the Clockwork City and its inhabitants. If sacrifices have to be made, we should all be prepared to make them, Lord Set included. You can ask. I have a crank in between my shoulder blades. One of my auxiliaries winds me up every morning before breakfast. That's a joke. In the same way as every other clockwork automata. A combination of engineering and sorcery that would take a century to explain. The machinery keeps me alive. I know it's unsettling to look at, but no one ever said life in Clockwork City was fair. The same as you, I wager. A combination of heroism and coincidence. I served Riemann Cyrodiil as a battle mage during the Akaviri Troubles and the Valenwood annexation. Yes, I'm still not exactly sure what happened. During the Valenwood campaign, I locked staves with a wood elf spell leader named Keladith. He was deceptively powerful, wiry, quick as a skeever trap. I remember cleaving his staff with a summoned blade. Possibly. I think he was in the midst of a translocation spell when my sword made impact. There was an explosion and a bright light. When I woke, I was splayed out in the radius. Mangled. Yes, his factotum scooped up what was left of me and brought me here. He mended my wounds and replaced what couldn't be mended with metal. I asked him why. Because one day you will shine a light, he said. And that was that. Always. Take my advice. If we manage to find the real Set, don't expect him to embrace you as a friend. We're all cogs in his eyes. Valuable. Beautiful, even. But ultimately expendable. You either grow to accept that, or you turn out like Gascoigne. Yes, bitter, sullen, probably traitorous, and if I get my way, dead.
You were at Fardar's Tooth when Tharek tried to open a portal to Oblivion.
Well, look at you, all full of fleshy bits. Not a scrap of brass on you, is there? That won't do, that will not do. I can fix you up, no bother at all. Maybe new feet. You need new feet, don't you? A missing person? How mysterious. You wouldn't be looking for Sotha Seal, would you? I hear rumors, you know. All kinds of rumors. Something about him turning into a crow. Or was it a frog? Never mind. Luciana did you a favor. I have just the thing. Whoa! Cool those cogs, you twitchy rascal. This little scrap heap should do the trick. There he goes! I just replaced his leg springs, so try to keep up!
Johnny! Visitors! Useless. What are you doing nosing around here with that ugly beast? Johnny and I haven't done nothing. Chancellor who? Oh, you mean that brass-arsed fancy boots that came running through here? Yeah, I seen him, dragging his silly apostle skirts behind him like a broken wheel chain. Seemed like he was in a hurry. Pretty suspicious, if you ask me. Yeah, the grease mucks up Dabrakan snoots. That's why we stay down here. Wouldn't want the constable to see you. Never mind. Your man headed west. Should be some oily footprints about. Follow those tracks and you'll find...
By the word of said, I am bound. Awaiting task input. Vocal commands accepted. Please select command 1, 2, or 3. Command acknowledged. Resuming terrain remodeling protocol.
Are you here to kill me? Too late.
Security coil indicates zero intruders.
You, another one of vile, sniveling agents. Gascoigne's gone. Now, let me return to my mistress in peace. West, in the ventral terminus. He may have killed me, but he won't last long. He sealed his fate the moment he betrayed us. There existed a covenant between your Gascoigne, Clavicus Vile, and my mistress. But he broke it. Now he will drown in blood. Night Mistress, I am coming. Gascoigne vowed to bring us an artifact of great power. Now the artifact is gone. But don't worry. My mistress will wring the truth out of him soon. The Whispering Shadows will claim this artifact, and you will all die, deafened by your own screams. You really have no idea, do you? Daedric forces conspire in every dark corner, lurk behind every tree and stone. We spread like a plague, claiming more souls and territory with each passing hour. Sotha Seal's precious city will die at our hands. Yes, Scathan and others, they served their purpose, and yet they linger, confounding my mistress's plans and providing safe harbor to that toad, Gascoigne. Gascoigne vowed to bring us an artifact of great...
out there? Beagle. Questions? You think I'm foolish enough to let you in? No, this door will remain closed. I just need time to work this out, to smooth things over. Simple. Now leave me be. Who I keep counsel with is none of your concern. You're just like Varuni, so uptight, so naive. If you value your life, you'll leave this place now!
You take! You take!
it's a dead end. Unless you can smash through solid bedrock, you'll never find me.
Keep has been gathering dust for decades. You may as well just give up. proximity sensors engaged.
What? What have you done?
Engaging threat. Responding to hostile behavior. Testing protocol initiated.
Did your new toy wind down? What a shame. May as well give up.
Engaging threat. Combat sequence operate testing protocol initiated. Engaging threat. Enough. Reroute the charge gate. Stop this thing.
You summon me again. I grow tired of this mortal.
Just help you! Just follow me outside, all right? I promise I will explain everything. I know how this looks, but you have to understand. Those shadow cultists meant to slit my throat. I had to leave. My life was in danger. Don't you see that? Fine. I made a bargain with Clavicus Vile. I know. Questionable. Just hear me out. All he wanted was a key. If I got it for him, he'd make me the ruler of Clockwork City. Unfortunately, someone stole the key before I could deliver it. Some daft talking crows. After that terrible business with the Shadow, I returned to my office to think. I arrived just in time to see one of those disgusting birds make off with the artifact. I panicked and ran here to hide. On my life, I did not. I wanted to heal the city, not destroy it. If I had known, I swear I never would have gone through with it. Yes, my methods were unconventional, I admit it. But you have to understand, I didn't do this for me. I did it for the city. Look around. Bloodthirsty fabricants, barren wastes, crumbling towers. This is all Sotha Seal's fault. He abandoned us. While he tinkers away in the Centralis, we scrape by. Eating nutriment paste and hiding from killer machines. Is that fair? Should we thank him for that? My eyes are open. The people of Clockwork City deserve better. I thought so. Look, bartering with Clavicus Vile was unwise, I know. Offering Daedric artifacts to Dark Princes, it was a mistake. Even so, I can be a useful ally. I know our enemy better than anyone. You've made the right choice. Take me back to the Brass Fortress. I will admit my crimes. Perhaps I can help. Once we arrive at the Basilica, I can explain everything to Varuni. Maybe she'll...
Chancellor Gascon.
Oh, no. Luciana, just let me explain.
Shut that lying mouth of yours, or I'll shut it for you. Permanently. Thank you for digging this traitorous mongrel out of the Terminus. Varuni wants to speak with you back at the Basilica.